This is the story of one of the strangest events in recorded history. An event so bizarre, so inexplicable, that historians and scientists are still scratching their heads to this day. It's July 1518, and in the bustling city of Strasbourg, located in modern-day France, something utterly surreal begins to unfold. You probably won't believe it at first, but I promise this really happened. A woman named Frau Trophäa stepped into the streets and began to dance. A seemingly harmless act, right? Well, get ready, because what started as a single woman dancing soon spiraled into absolute chaos, with dozens, then hundreds, joining her. And tragically, some of them danced until they died. You don't want to miss this historical roller coaster, so buckle up as we unravel the mystery of the dancing plague of 1518, an occurrence so baffling it has stumped experts for over 500 years. Let's set the stage. Strasbourg, in 1518. It's a sweltering summer, with the sun beating down relentlessly. The town's narrow streets are teeming with activity, vendors shouting, carts rattling, and townspeople going about their business. Suddenly, all eyes turn to Frau Trophäa. She's dancing, but there's something unsettling about it. Her feet move frantically, almost like they're being controlled by some invisible force. She isn't dancing to music, nor does she appear to be celebrating. Her steps are wild and erratic. Onlookers stop and stare, but Frau Trophäa doesn't stop. Not after a minute, not after an hour, and not even by the next day. The locals are bewildered. By the third day, her solo performance has become a spectacle. People shout for her to stop, but she doesn't respond. She doesn't eat. She doesn't drink. It's as if she's possessed. Then something even stranger happens. Others start to join in. By the end of the week, over 30 people are caught in the grip of this dancing frenzy, their arms flailing and feet shuffling uncontrollably. The sight is equal parts mesmerizing and horrifying. What could possibly be going on? Local authorities are just as perplexed as the townsfolk. Was it witchcraft, demonic possession, or perhaps some strange curse? Unfortunately, their attempts to stop the madness were as baffling as the event itself. They believed that the best cure was more dancing. Yes, you heard that right. They thought the afflicted individuals had to get it out of their systems, like sweating out a fever. So they hired musicians, opened up a guild hall, and encouraged the dancers to keep going. This, as you might imagine, didn't help. In fact, it made things much worse. The dancing plague infected even more people. Before long, this bizarre epidemic reached its peak. Historical records suggest that as many as 400 people were dancing uncontrollably in the streets of Strasbourg, and the consequences were deadly. People collapsed from exhaustion. Some suffered heart attacks or strokes. Others succumbed to dehydration. This wasn't just an odd spectacle anymore. It had turned into a full-blown crisis. While there is no exact death toll, estimates suggest dozens lost their lives to this unrelenting, inexplicable compulsion to dance. So, what caused this? That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Since 1518, many theories have been put forward. One possibility is ergot poisoning. Ergot is a toxic mold that grows on damp rye and can cause hallucinations, spasms, and even psychosis. Could it be that the townspeople of Strasbourg accidentally ingested tainted bread? It's an enticing explanation, but it doesn't fully account for why people danced specifically rather than experiencing other symptoms. Another theory points to mass hysteria, now more commonly known as mass psychogenic illness. This phenomenon occurs when a group of people experience the same physical symptoms in response to psychological stress. It's worth noting that Strasbourg in 1518 was a city plagued, no pun intended, by challenges, famine, disease, poverty, and a host of religious tensions loomed over the community. These factors could have created a perfect storm of anxiety and fear, manifesting in this bizarre outbreak of uncontrollable dancing. Yet, even mass hysteria doesn't entirely clarify why the event unfolded the way it did. Why dancing? Why to the point of death? Some anthropologists have even speculated that the dancers were reenacting rituals tied to Saint Vitus, the patron saint of dancers, who was believed to have the power to curse or cure people through dance. Maybe they thought dancing would appease him and lift their affliction. But perhaps the strangest thing about the dancing plague is that 1518 wasn't the only time something like this happened. No, there are records of similar outbreaks in other parts of Europe, stretching as far back as the 11th century. In Aachen, Germany, in 1374, hundreds were said to have danced in a frenzy until they fainted or died. So whatever this peculiar phenomenon was, it wasn't completely unique to Strasbourg, adding yet another layer of mystery. Eventually, the Strasbourg outbreak fizzled out, but not before leaving a lasting scar on the town's psyche, and a place in the annals of the world's strangest events. Local officials finally intervened by forcing the afflicted to march barefoot to a shrine dedicated to Saint Vitus, hoping to end the so-called plague. It worked, or at least the dancers stopped. But the true cause of the event remained clouded in mystery. The dancing plague serves as a chilling reminder of how little we understood, and in some ways still don't understand, about the human mind and its capacity to react to extreme stress. As we wrap this up, let's take a moment to reflect. Imagine being there in 1518, watching your friends and neighbors collapse in the streets, powerless to stop their agonizing performances. What would you have thought? Would you have blamed supernatural forces? Medicine at the time was so primitive that even basic explanations were beyond reach. Yet here we are, centuries later, still pondering the same questions. That's the power of history. It's a window into our past, but it also holds a mirror to our present. There's so much we still don't know. So what do you think caused the dancing plague of 1518? Was it ergo poisoning, mass psychogenic illness, or something else entirely? Let me know your theories in the comments below. And if you enjoyed going down this fascinating and slightly eerie historical rabbit hole with me, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more episodes of fascinating history. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and above all, keep dancing. Just maybe not to the point of exhaustion. See you soon.